metal project's over. All the pieces have been picked up. Now it's just a mess in here and I have to clean up. But before I do, I thought I'd show you guys a metal finish we applied to these steel cap rails, just 16 gauge. Goes on a pony wall. Industrial metal art is very popular. That whole grungy urban look is in, and I thought I'd show you guys how we treated these. Basically, you gotta get yourself a burnisher and clean the finish off and the mill scales, so you're basically down to bare metal. So let's handle that real quick. Now the next stage in the process is cleaning the steel. You can use acetone or denatured alcohol. Doesn't really matter. I'm using denatured alcohol. But basically you just want it super clean. No grease, no fingerprints, no handprints, because that affects the overall look of the metal finish. And since the chemical itself is water-based, any oils or residues from manufacturing or just touching it will severely mottle the surface finish. But in regards to that, knowing that ahead of time, you can actually use that to your advantage. If you're trying to create subtle look or certain looks, you could go as far as to take an oil-based pen and write something or design on it and then put the chemical on it, and then it wouldn't really etch that area. So yeah, you can have some fun with that. So today we are using, it's called Antique Red Brown, and it happens real fast. So I try to not leave it on any more than 5 minutes. You want to rinse it off. There's several deactivating agents that basically stops the process from happening. You can either use distilled water, or you can use a product that's made to stop the oxidation process. There's many different variants of this. Many different companies make it. Metal finishes and jacks and permalac are 3 that I know and use. But some of them have quite a lot of color to them, you know, kind of like a rainbowy effect. And also, depending on how long you leave it on, changes the color completely. We left some on for over an hour, and it basically made it real orange, rusty color. I think my squirt bottle sucks. Unfortunately, it's not going to look that color when it dries, so a lot of experimentation is in order, you know. But what we're going for is I don't know, what I call a variegated pattern. with some natural swirls to it, and that can be achieved, you know, a couple different ways. As soon as I get it how I like it, I'm going to take it outside and rinse it off to stop the oxidation process. And then it's over 100 degrees right now, so this will air dry. Normally you would want to use compressed air and dry this as quickly as you can, and put some rust on here to stop the process from happening even after you clear coat it. So I guess I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll just smear it around a little bit. Okay. Good enough. We'll let this sit for approximately 5 minutes and then take it outside and rinse it. So it's been about 5 minutes. We're going to rinse off the chemical. Now at this point I can apply another color finish over it and get interesting blends and stuff, but I particularly like this one because this has some greens and reds and in it, and you know, also the intensity of how long it sits on the metal, how much you rubbed in, you know, how bare the metal was. So that's basically it. At this point I can spray it down with rust arrest, so it will not continue to rust away even after I've coated it with just some clear spray paint. It neutralizes. Okay, it's had some time to dry, get some sun on it. Looks pretty good. But remember, this can rub off on your fingers, so you got to handle it carefully until you seal it with something. So let's take it inside and give it a coat and see what our final product looks like. Alright, time to reveal the magic. Doesn't look like much, just kind of looks like a rusty mess. But when you put some clear on this thing, check it out. Now you can let that dry, put a few more coats on, rub it down with some steel wool if you want between coats, or at this point you can coat it with anything, your favorite varnish or anything like that. But basically you just want to keep the oxide coating from wiping off. But as you can see, it's got a lot of nice variegation to it, a lot of nice different tonal ranges. It's actually really quite beautiful. So if you want to really up your game in your metalwork, oftentimes it comes down to just what finish you choose.